Hey guys, Fig Nukin Records back again with another top 10. Today we're going to be doing top 10 progressive albums for new listeners, mainly progressive rock. So let's dive right into it, and let's start with a heavy hitter off the bat. I'll try to make my list a little different than a lot of other people's, but there's some albums that just kind of transcend, all this kind of stuff. So let's go. Aqualung by Jethro Tull, of course, absolute masterpiece of an album. You have great songs, Cross-Eyed Mary, Mother Goose, Wandering Aloud, My God, my favorite track off the album, Hymn 43, Locomotive Breath, great songs, a mix of hard rock, folk, and just progressive greatness, honestly, and classic rock. I mean, it all goes through here. Highly suggest listening to the Steven Wilson remix. I'm not going to lie. I think it sounds the best of them. And, of course, this is like some crazy-ass version of the album. It's like a book. Not my favorites. I really liked it when I got it, but I think it's a bit much. Can't really sleeve it up or anything. But it honestly is held together pretty well. Just wish the inner sleeve wasn't that material because I feel like it's going to scratch the record. But whatever. On to the next one. How about for female vocalists? How about Renaissance? I almost said Renaissance. Of course, classic album, prologue. You got some great songs on here. Of course, title track, Kiev, which actually has like a male singer on it. So if you like, I think this is why I picked this over Ashes. Ashes Are Burning, because this is just kind of a more easy album to get into. I'd say it's kind of hard, but great songs on here. Sounds of the Sea, Kiev, prologue. Like I was saying, great album. Highly suggest listening to this one. Honestly, one of my favorites all time for prog albums. Next up, how about the band that brought prog into the 80s, really, I would say. Because I feel like there wasn't a lot of new prog bands in the 80s. I mean, you definitely got some that were like composed of older proggers, really, like Asia and stuff like that. That's more old prog and like more of an 80s style. But these guys were purely a band formed in the 80s and everything. All pretty much new guys. Of course, Merlin, Scripper, Jester's Tear. Great album. You have some classic tracks on there. The title track, of course, He Knows You Know. I really like The Web, Garden Party, Chelsea Monday, and Forgotten Sons. Great album all the way through. Definitely a worth listen. I know a lot of people probably say Kaylee's going to be like their number one. But I don't know. It's, no, I like that album more. So I'm going with that. All right. So y'all can suck it up. Sorry, I'm getting like stuck between two records. Next up, one of my favorite records of all time. Alan Parsons' I, Robot. Great album. You have some great tracks on here. Poppy, like soft rock. Not really hard rock. I mean, yeah, hard rock with breakdown. But you have I Wouldn't Want to Be Like You, Some Other Time. Don't Let It Show. The Voice, personally probably my favorite track on the album. The title track, of course, is a fucking awesome instrumental. Great album. Of course, based off of the book, which was later adapted into a movie by Mr. Will Smith Smack over there. Next up, going into one that I think might be controversial. How about Kansas's Mask? Of course, this is the very classic lineup for Kansas. I'm having a brain fart there. But, man, you have some great hard rock tracks on here that I think really make it almost a breeze for, like, new listeners. Of course, this band is, like, one of the most popular prog bands of all time. But, man, great tracks like It Takes a Woman's Love to Make a Man, Icarus, Born on Wings of Steel, Child of Innocence, The Pinnacle. There's great stuff on this album. Of course, weird cover. Awesome cover, though, in my opinion. But just great stuff that you don't get a lot of places. So, after that, though, let's go to another 70s greats. Kind of in the same vein, I'd say. I feel like these two I kind of associate with each other. Styx and Kansas. But here we got Styx, of course, The Grand Illusion. Oh my gosh, what would we do without this album? I mean, you got the title track, awesome. Of course, you watch That 70s Show, everybody loves that track. Fooling Yourself, Oh my god, another great one. Superstars, amazing. Come Sail Away, amazing. Miss America, amazing. Man in the Wilderness, amazing. Castle Walls, amazing. Best song on the track, in my opinion. And the grand finale, also great. This is a perfect fucking album. One of the best albums of all time. Up there with iRobot. Of course, I think that iRobot I love, but I do feel like some of the instrumentals, not everybody's going to like. That album, it's hard. If you like classic rock, you're going to love that album. I know people shit on Styx. Like, Styx is some kind of beaten up for some people. But, man, I think they're great. Next up, also going to be kind of controversial, like Kansas. Relighter by Yes. So, I know Gates of Delirium is going to be like, oh, this is like a real toss and turn for them. But first of all, you got two great backing tracks, Sound Chaser and To Be Over. Two long ones. And then I know I was actually trying not to go with too many long songs. So it is what it is. This is my favorite album by them, though. I'll say that. And honestly, there's some parts in this album that I think are like top tier Yes. Soon, man, John Anderson's voice on that, fucking amazing. There's something about this album, deep love for me. So I took it over Close to the Edge. I'm sorry. I know not everybody's going to agree with that. But, hey, that's what life is. I'm not agreeing with everybody. So it is what it is. Next up, of course, I have to throw it in here. Moving Pictures, Rush. I want to do 2112. I didn't think 2112. Same thing with the long track, like I was just saying for Yes. That's why the only one I put in there was that. But, I mean, this album, you have absolute classics. I mean, the first side is amazing. And then the side two, the B-sides, all great too. There's nothing bad about this album. Tom Sawyer, a little overplayed, I will say. But man, for a new person, like, let's say you never listened to this or any prog, and you like this classic rock, you're gonna fucking love this album. This album also helped usher in the 80s, I think, for prog. Of course, it's kind of the end of an era for Rush, kind of the start of a new one. But I don't know. I still love the 80s albums. Grace Under Pressure might be my favorite Rush album. Don't judge me too hard, gentlemen, but I do love it. Next up, second to last, we got Genesis, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. This is kind of a shitty copy, but it is what it is. Of course, absolute classic in the rock opera concept album. That's what I was looking for. But of course, you got, oh my gosh, great songs. You got Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Oh man, what's the fucking big one for me? The Worm one. I can't read this. This is so messed up on the back. But yes, great album. Great album. Sorry, I'm just like looking at this and it's just like impossible to tell. I want to say something about, Carpet Crawlers. That's the song. I fucking love that song. Sorry, I was like looking for worms. I'm like, dude, where's this song at? I'm gonna look like an idiot. Not that I already don't look like an idiot, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? But yeah, last but not least, how about "Wish You Were Here" by Pink Floyd? Y'all are gonna also yell about this one probably because it's not Dark Side. So I think this album, for what it is better than Dark Side for new listeners because "Shine On You Crazy Diamond," of course, that's an emotional, like, kind of bluesy track. And then you have "Have a Cigar," a nice rocker. "Wish You Were Here," I'd say probably the most popular Pink Floyd song of all time. And then, the second half of "Shine On You Crazy Diamond." This is just like, a perfect album, one of many Pink Floyd's perfect albums. But, yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. Those are my 10 progressive albums I recommend to all new prog rock listeners. So if you guys are trying to get into it, go on Spotify, go on YouTube. I don't care. Type all that shit in, listen to it ASAP. You won't disappoint. Also, some side little recommends because I couldn't add them all in this video. I wanted to do top 10, but Nectar, Remember the Future, didn't want to do that one because it's only 2 parts. Very awesome though, very unique. Like I said, Close to the Edge, another great one by Yes. Assassin um, by Marillion, also a great one. Of course, Pink Floyd, you got Dark Side, like I said. You have Styx, you have Left Overture, Point of No Return, two great albums. I don't know. There's so much I could put. But yeah, overall, hope you guys enjoyed this little episode. Peace.